Hey guys, how are we doing? Welcome back to Slotcars. Today I'm going to start a new build. It's quite a big one. It'll probably go over 2 videos because I don't want to just cram it in and skip through it like I've done before. So I've got a rough idea in my head, but as always, plans evolve and change as you go along. So without further ado, let me show you, after I've finished my coffee track fans, what I plan on doing. So I'm going to be working on this centre part of the layout. It's quite a big space, but it's very narrow. But that's fine because the seed I have in my head is growing. So the first thing I've done is just put a little base in there. It's not stuck down because I'm going to need to take this out to work on it on the bench and then slot it in after. So this is going to be built up to almost track level. Let me give you an example. This isn't cut, it's just a rough idea. So that's going to go somewhere like that, trimmed down so it's the same height as this section here, along here. And all this is forming is your base level. Now we're going to have a section on top like that. Where it gets wider, there's going to be some windows. So this is hard to hold this here. So there'll be some windows in here and something going on the base level. The entry will be through here, so I need to put a path through this grass area onto this section here, which will be, I guess, what the entrance to the building, and then there'll be a stairwell going up. So this will go across here like that. There will then be something built on top of that that comes probably up to here, and then this final section will form a viewing platform, a terrace. Well, I'll probably have tables, chairs, people sitting there having a beer or two, and then it will all be, I need some sort of barrier or fencing going around to stop them toppling onto the track. So I am taking health and safety very seriously on this build. So that's what I have in my head. So the first thing I need to do is I'm going to get this piece cut out. I only need to trim a little bit off the top, score it so I can bend it round, and then I can have this bit in place. I can then cut more and add to it, and then I need to work out at what level I put the base for whatever is going to go here. So there's a bit of cutting and there's a bit of thinking. So it's lucky I've got my coffee, because I always think better when I've got a cup of coffee. So right, let's start cutting. Well, I've sort of established that I don't need a base as such. I can just have these 2 side bits as the support. So what I'm going to do is temporarily just put a dab of hot glue on the corners of these so they're fixed in place. Once they're in place, I am going to put this top section on, stick it onto the sides, and then I can remove it, because then I can trim the section underneath so it fits perfectly, because this isn't the same dimension all the way across. I think it's about 11 centimeters there, and it slightly narrows because of the way the trackers sort of had to be slightly twisted to get it all to fit together. So I'm going to hot glue these in place, maybe just one dab. I don't know it too difficult to get out, and then I can get the top stuck on, and then I can take it all off and bring it over to the bench. Well, now that's hot glued in place, I had to slightly cut that at an angle and cut a little bit out because of my imperfections in doing that, but that's fine. So this is all loosely stuck in place. I've only put a couple of dabs of hot glue on this top bit, but I can address that when I get to the bench. There's just a dab of hot glue in the corners here to keep this in place. So now I'm going to have to put the camera down because I need to prise this off here and here, get this over to the bench, and we'll have a look at what we've got. Now, because this is only fixed on with a couple of dabs of glue, I'm just going to put a couple of supports in place that I've cut out already. So Let's get some glue on this, and this should just make it a bit more rigid. I might even put more of these in, just so it keeps it nice and secure. First, and then there's one over here, so we just get that glued. And here, just prise it open a little bit, pop it in, squeeze it shut. And now we'll keep the sides. I think I'll do one for the middle as well, but I won't bore you with. Oh, it's a shame. So I'll cut out another piece to pop it in the middle as well, and then it should be nice and secure, and then we'll see what's next. So now it's in place, it's all stuck down, it's got supports in place. So this is the basic structure that goes in, lifts out quite easily. So the next thing I'm going to work on is here. Now this needs to have, what sort of height are we going to go? Probably about, because I'm going to have no issues with visibility as the cars go around, so I'm not too concerned. I'll probably go with my normal 9 centimetre height. So I'm going to build up initially 2 sections that go along, a box at the end, a continuation. I really don't know what I'm doing here. Okay, let's have a look. This is the entrance section, so it will need probably a base section there and a door at the end. Okay, let's get this back on the bench. So this section is going to go on here, which will form the building, and I think I'm going to have a window on both sides. So I've marked out it's going to have one big long window going right the way to the front, so you can get a really good view of what's going on inside, and also when I put a light in, it will give it plenty of room to emit from. So that's going to go there. Ignore the messy bit here. I really had to butcher that because the Stanley knife blade, I struggled to get to it, so I had to use a long craft blade which is blunt. But it's not a problem because I'm just going to put something over the front of that to cover it. See, it's so easy to cover imperfection, isn't it? I've been doing it all my life. So I'm going to take this up now, get this stuck in place, and then I need to work on this section here. So let's get the window cut out first. You do have to cut slightly beyond the lines because it doesn't always go through the bottom layer of paper. So we'll see how that works out, but when we're done we can turn it around and snip them so they come out. But all these windows are going to get framed, probably in MDF, I think, because I really want to put some detail on this. I want this to be a marathon and not a sprint on this build. So there you go, that's the window. Let's get it glued in place. I get through so many of these glue sticks you would not believe. Oh dear, I love it when I'm making things up as I go along. I really have not got a clue what I'm doing, but I'm sure it'll all take shape. So there we have, that's the front. It will have a little strip going across there, which will hide that imperfection. In fact, I might do that shortly. While it's out, let's do it. Let's do that, and then we can focus on the rest of it. I think this was 1 centimetre, if I remember rightly. Normally, my eye is quite good, and I can gauge roughly where I've got to cut, but it'll be on this one occasion that I'll completely bugger it up. So we'll pop some glue on this long strip. Might need quite a bit of glue because it's a little bit lumpy and bumpy underneath, so wave goodbye to another glue stick. Get that nice and level with the top, and there you go. Messy cut, what messy cut. And in this one, I just need to mark that off, take it to the end. And there we go. Another one of my imperfections completely hidden. Well, not completely hidden because we've got this, but that's fine because I'm going to clad this top section in something. Not sure what. So, right, let's pop this back on the track and we'll see what I've got. I've had to remove that strip that I put on across here to cover it up, because if you get one of the bigger cars, for example, Chicago Police, it's fine, but it was catching on this bit because it was protruding out by about 5 or 6 mil, and it was catching. I mean, now it's fine, it'll run up there okay. So I need to cover this with something else, so it'll probably be, I'll try it with paint because that does hide a lot of imperfections, but if that doesn't work, I can put paper or decals over it or something, but I'll do that at a later date. The other thing that I've decided is that I'm not going to do anything as such down here. I'm just going to fill this in, but have a staircase coming up. So my next part of this is to just put an extension on this bit here, a back piece that will cover the whole of the back, and then cut out a slot for a staircase to come up. So that's next. So now I've popped this bit in place, I've got a bit cut out for where the staircase is going to be, and I've measured that up, and that just needs sticking in there, which is the back wall. Come on, I'm just squeeze enough glue out to do this bit. Yeah, so that can go on there, like that. Just trim away some of the excess while it's hot. And at some point I need to have a think about where the lighting is going to come into this, so my brain is having a little play around at that one. Okay, it looks a mess, doesn't it? It looks a mess, but don't worry about it. It will all sort of turn out okay, I'm sure. So now I need to just cut a back piece for here. I'll get that stuck on, and then we'll pop it on the track and see what we've got next. Well, that was fiddly. So I've got the back panel on, side panel, sorry, the back panel, and we've got a little staircase there done in foam board. That was really fiddly. I just need to maybe put a door. I haven't gone all the way down with the steps because you can't really see them. So this is taking shape now. I'm not going to worry about the roof for now, I don't think. Oh, maybe I will. But the roof will be removable so I can work on the inside. So I need to do a front panel here and cut out a space for a door. And then the basic structure of this is nearly there. Right, I've cut out the front section, which will go here with the door that leads out onto the viewing platform. So let's get that stuck in place. Like that. Okay, the structure of the build is complete. Now, I think the last thing I'm going to do for now is just to paint this bottom black, because I think black, if I come over to the track, I think if we look at this here, I'm not going to put it in properly, I've only got one hand, but if I paint that black, it will tie in with the colour of the track, the black down below. And I think having this bit black will be good. So I'm just going to paint probably, yeah, and maybe up to this height round the side as well. So I shall put in, yeah, I'll mask that off and paint the back as well. But I won't film painting because it's boring. Right, so now I've given it a coat of paint, and most of it's dry, but the bits where the foam is showing, you know, and a foam board takes ages to dry. So as I found out, because I picked it up and I got covered in paint. Excuse me. Anyway, while that's drying, I was thinking about what to do for a roof, and I found this. Let's move this out of the way for a minute. Found this. Now, this was the roof of something else that I had, which I think was a nightclub that I've put under the track, but I don't need a roof on it. And look, it's got a lighting, turn it around. It's got a lighting section already fitted, and as luck would have it, it's a bit tight, but it actually fits. Is that the right? No, it's the wrong way around, that's right. So the wire is at the back, which is great because it can then come down there and get connected up. And it actually fits perfect. Perfect fit at the back and the sides. It's a bit long at the front, but that's fine because I can cut this down. So if you see, I don't want to get covered in paint. If you see the front bit, then yeah, I just need to cut this about here all the way down. So I'm going to do that, and that is really cheating on the roof, but it's great because I don't have to worry about it. And then where these marks, it looks a bit messy, so I'm just going to put some roof supports in, I guess, a bit like I did on the pit garage, just to frame that and then give it a coat of paint after. So what I need to do is work out how I'm going to get the wiring done and get the wiring up from the bottom through this somehow. I might do it down the back, but we'll see. I'm going to have a think about the wiring, and then when we come back, this will be dry, the roof will be cut, and I'll probably do the detail on the roof with the coat of paint. As you can see, I've cut the roof down, cut the roof to size. I have, now there was a bulb, LED bulb that was under here. So I cut the wires, took the bulb off, extended the wiring to come out here, just to try it out, and it fits perfectly. So we now have this section that is, can you see it? Yeah, there's 4 lights in there, so when the lights are off, it should be quite bright. So yeah, we've got lighting in there. So I think really just to finish off part 1 of this video is I'm going to get these wires stuck in. Oh, am I going to do that? Yeah, because I can get to it. I'm going to get this block stuck in place on the back of the building, but I'm going to take these wires out so I can take the roof off and work inside. I'm going to stick this base now because it's a little bit, no I'm not actually, I'm not. Don't worry about a couple of mil out there. It really doesn't matter in the big picture. It's much better that I can take it out if I need to. So yeah, I'm just going to get this block stuck in place because at the minute it's going to impede cars that are going along, so I'm just going to stick that on there and thread the wires down the back a little bit and get it all stuck so it's tidied up. And then yeah, we're nearly done for this part 1 of this video. There we have it. So that's sort of all I'm going to do on part 1 of this build. We've got the main structure built, we have lighting inside, we're ready to go. The roof comes up with the lighting underneath, so that's all good. Next stage is starting to decorate the outside, and it's good to have a break because I can then work out what sort of look I'm going to go for on this. Do I do like a wood cladding effect, or do I do brickwork or stone? So yeah, lots to work on there. I've got to work on the interior design of it, and I need to do the decking. So will I get that done in 2 parts? Possibly. Part 3 might be tagged on to something else, but we'll see how it goes. But certainly, as I've said before, for the purpose of this video, we'll call it a day. And thanks for watching, guys. And until part 2, you all take care, my friends. Bye-bye.